Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Cara Delane and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Cara Delane.
Welcome everyone to the Fixed Ops Roundtable After Dark. What an amazing 2 days, Ted.
Cara, I tell you, I am overwhelmed by these last 2 days. We have had so much going on. And Cara, you have been amazing with the masks and the themes and the music and all the stuff. And we have two great guests, Cara Delane, with us tonight. They are Steve Woessner, who's going to be on the show tomorrow from Blue Oceans Global Consulting. And we have tonight with us from Los Angeles, Alyson Landis from Inkcentric. Steve and Alyson, welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you, Ted.
Thanks for having us.
We got a lot going on. I want to talk about your panel tonight, Steve, with you and Brian Kramer and Ed Roberts. That's on tomorrow. Alyson, you're on tomorrow as well. Tony Owens, good evening. Tony, I saw you on there today when Jim Roche from War Cloud was talking about warranty, and I know that's your swim lane. So anyway, tonight, Cara, we're live, right?
We are live, Ted, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube.
All right, amazing. And I want to give a quick shout out to our exclusive sponsor, BG Products, Partners Beyond Products. And thank you so much for all that you do for the industry. And, we've also been raising some money, Cara, these last couple of days. So a lot going on with that behind the scenes as well.
Yep. I've seen a lot of people jumping in that donation link, Ted, just in the last couple of days.
And, a lot of people have reached out to me and, they've asked, how does that work? How do we donate on that? So I told Cara tonight, Alyson, that maybe we need a video that explains how that donation link works. And I see, Cara, that one just popped in. Looks like that you did that earlier tonight. So
I did that one just on my my personal Facebook page there, just to kind of promote to maybe people that haven't seen the roundtable or haven't been involved with anything that we've done. And the more people that see it, the better. So I want to spread the season of giving this year. And I think the best way to do it is through the Fixed Ops Roundtable with our donations going to LLS. Can
you believe next Thursday is Thanksgiving?
I cannot believe. I feel like it was just January.
I know.
Wow. Yeah.
So Steve, by the way, quick shout out to Coralie. Coralie, you were amazing on that panel yesterday with Repair Pal. Thank you so much for doing that. A great talent in our industry. A lot more to see on the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Steve, you got a panel coming up tomorrow. Oh, here he is with perfect timing with Ed Roberts. And who's that other fella, Steve, that's on that panel?
Brian, why would you ask me now? I get a brain fart.
Kramer, right? I think it's Kramer.
Brian Kramer.
Okay.
Yeah. But great.
From cars.com. And you're talking about the acceleration of change. What an amazing topic to bring it home tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah. And Brian and Ed are two great people to talk to about that because they come at it from such interesting perspectives. Brian's got a great background in retail, and now he's in cars.com. So he's kind of getting a corporate view as well as having a retail view. And Ed's got an amazing operation down there. So talking to the two of them about the speed of change and what's happening lately, it's just pretty amazing. When I've talked to multiple dealers and you've got industry changes, you've got OEM changes, then you've got government changes coming in on top of that. And it all seems to be landing on them at the same time. And I think, the big catchword I would use looking at the future is flexibility. They're going to have to be very, very flexible. And dealers have been very good at that. They're very good at pivoting. They're very good at reacting to things. But they are going to have to think out ahead. And I think, as Brian said in the panel, and so did, Ed, it's really a situation where a lot of these things are going to come at you that you're not expecting. And you're going to have a leadership team that has that flexibility, that has that ability to move with you and to anticipate some things. And so that even if you get taken by surprise by something, that you can pivot and your team's okay with that. And I think that's what Ed does really well because his team is amazing.
Steve and I were saying about all the amazing panels that were on the show today. Kara, and yesterday. And not to be outdone, but tomorrow's panel with Steve and Brian Kramer and Ed Roberts is really fantastic. Sean Kingery, I see you there in the. By the way, today's a special day for Sean Kingery. I believe it is his birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh,
Happy
happy
birthday.
birthday.
Should I warm up my vocals, Ted?
Right. We need to
Just
sing.
for Sean?
Do you want to do it tonight, or do you want to do it tomorrow? We could do it together on the show at around noontime if you want to do that.
Whatever you think is best. I mean, I might need some warm up for these pipes, Sean. I don't know if you want me singing happy birthday, but I'll give it a go just for Sean.
I love it.
Yeah, for Sean. Sean has been so instrumental in the roundtable. He's up in Wisconsin right now, and he's leading a 7-dealer group, and really blessed that he's been involved with the roundtable as much as he has. In fact, that's a group that found him through the roundtable. They saw him appear on a number of panels, and this event is no different than the others as well. Alyson, you got a lot going on. I was watching today some video. It looks like it was in your facility there in Los Angeles. You got a big place, and you produce a lot of stuff for dealers.
Yes, thanks, Ted. And I actually get to show you a quick preview of this. This is a finished piece. We print a few 100,000 of these actually, and this is done on what's called a web press. So if you imagine, it's a roll of paper that goes through to make the speed and everything go faster. The back of the calendar as well. I mean, these are hot off the press, truly. These are going to be at the LA Auto Show. So it's a, big thing that happens out here, of course, in Los Angeles. Galpin has a huge, actually not even a booth, an entire floor called the concourse floor, and they hand these out there. But the best thing is pieces like this are the gift that keep on giving. Every single day, somebody is looking at your logo, looking at your company branding, your information is there. And when you're printing a larger quantity, of course, I mean, these are a few dollars a piece. You really can't beat that. So yeah, great time of the year for us. Absolutely.
I want to get one of those Galpin calendars now. I love that.
It's going to be right to you at home soon. I promise. Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to talk to you, and maybe we'll talk offline after the show, because on that panel today with Joe Lockard, that phrase, "What would Marco do?" really took off. Like, everyone was saying that, and it's now a hashtag. So I'm thinking, Alyson, that we do some buttons. We'll abbreviate it, hashtag WWMD, right?
MD, yes.
And maybe we'll do that with some Tully buttons, and we'll get that out as like a Christmas package. We'll talk offline about doing that, but I want to do some buttons for that. I think that's very worthy. So
would love
Very
to.
cool.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Thank
But
you.
Alyson does a whole lot for the automotive industry, for Galpin, and I think that auto show is going on right now because Tom Dahl said he was going to Los Angeles for that.
Yeah, I believe today or tomorrow is press day. So it all starts tomorrow. It'll go throughout the following week as well. It's really great. If anybody's local, it is a super fun thing to go and see all sorts of cars. So much fun. I mean, really. And the talent just out of this world.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amy Sparks, we see you. Thank you. Good evening. Thanks for the birthday wishes for Sean. So before we get too far away from it, Kara, we didn't have a chance today to call out donations. So if it's okay, I'd like to call out some tonight. And thanks to folks who have been very generous. And we still got some more time on this. But some big donations came in today, Kara.
Man, I know. First off, I saw that Reynolds and Reynolds had that $3,000 donation. So thank you, Reynolds and Reynolds, for being a part of the Fixed Ops Roundtable and that generous donation today.
And Reynolds was all over the roundtable yesterday and today with that safeguard panel that was going on, which I see now has been extended, Steve, another 6 months. So, Kara, that somehow means probably another panel at the May event, I'm thinking, right, since that's extended till June. And they were on there today with their marketing company. And also tomorrow, Alyson, right around the time that you and Steve are speaking, I'm going to do a segment with their vice president, Greg Uland of brand marketing, on their Connected podcast. And we're going to do a dual event for Reynolds tomorrow afternoon and the Fixed Ops Roundtable. So that's pretty cool, Kara.
I know.
Very cool. Yes.
Really exciting.
Very nice. Very
And
nice.
Tom Dahl was here yesterday. Subaru of America made a very generous donation, and also Liza Borges made one from Carter Myers and Patriot Automotive Group. And I was really pleased that Adam Aarons also made another separate personal donation, Jason Aubrey. So, Kara, that is Jason from Reynolds and Reynolds.
I
Okay,
saw that
and
comment come through, and I was like, I got to put it on the screen. It was the perfect time.
Jason, your timing is impeccable. So, my friend, thank you so much for doing that, and appreciate all that you do. Kara, I wish that every company had someone of the caliber of what Jason Aubrey does for Reynolds, because he leaves no stone unturned. They make sure everything is right when it comes on the roundtable.
And it should be. I mean, they're an amazing company that has an amazing reputation. So I can only see why. But it's amazing, Jason, what you were doing.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff going on there. So appreciate that very much. Kara, looks like Les Silver left a donation today as well.
I know. So honestly, I was surprised, Ted, at how many people were jumping in today. But yes, Les Silver was on there. I saw Patriot Subaru on there. So many different companies. But what impressed me was these individuals that donated not under their company.
Yeah.
Which was even more amazing. So there's so many different people that we could shout out. The list just goes on and on.
John Fitzpatrick from Force Marketing GSM, thank you so much. A very big, generous donation. Kaylee Filio from Parts Edge, thank you so much. Mickey Quinn from Vanguard Dealer Services. I got to introduce you, Alyson, to Mickey. Mickey, thank you so much for that generous donation. Longo Toyota, thank you so much. Owen Moon at Fixed Ops Digital. Veronica Dunford at Dealer Bill, thank you so much for a donation. Steve Apicella at Strategic DX. Dave O'Brien at Quantum 5. Matt Bateman at My Karma. Sean Kingery, thank you so much for getting us started as well. And Tully Williams. It looks like Steve Woessner. Thank you so much, Steve, for your donation. Mike Hanna, look, I didn't even see this one. Mike Hanna over at TrueSpot left the donation as well.
Yeah. And I see Ted Ing's name on there a couple times too.
You know, I thought I would kick it off, right? It wouldn't be right if I didn't, do that. And then, so I think the first one I left, Sean Butler, good evening. I think I left 1,000 the first time. And then I said, no, that's not enough. I got to step it up. So I went 2,500 for the next one, and I'm not done yet. All right. So anyway, grateful to everybody for their giving. And John Fairchild, thank you so much. $2,000. Caesar Augustus from Dealer Scanning, $2,000 from you as well. Did I see John Traver on there as well, Kara?
John Traver, yeah, he's on here as well. I've seen Doug Ero on here.
Okay.
Tully Williams is on here.
Good. Well, we're not done. And so we had that panel today with the Legends, right? And the Legends was an amazing panel, right? And Jim Roche from War Cloud gave as well. And some of the Legends reached out to me and said, how does that donation works website work? Can you give us some instruction on that? So Kara has made a video on how to use that. So I'll send that to the Legends first, but they managed to get their donations in. So, and David Boyle as well, looks like Tire Profiles or Traction, pardon me, he's left the donation. So great stuff there. And Cora Lee, thank you for your donation as well. So appreciate all we got going on. So Kara, we got a lot happening.
I mean, we're going into the last day here, and still so much more to come on the roundtable. So much more donating to come too, but I'm excited for day 3. It's been a great event.
Yeah, it's been really good, Ted. I mean, I've been watching, pretty much straight through almost all of the 2 days, and really, just like I said, it's incredible to watch and to see the different people and the different panels, and I like the different perspectives that everybody brings. That's what makes it really interesting, because you've got people that are suppliers, people that are, dealers, people that are, I like the one with, the WWMD with, Marco coming in as the tech. That was awesome. That was just awesome. The way he explained it from the perspective of a tech, very cool. Very cool.
I think that technician perspective is real important, Steve. And people have not heard a lot of that in the past because the technicians have been quiet and silent. And here's a vocal technician who's very outspoken and has a lot to say. And so, Steve, now you did one of the very first Fixed Ops roundtables before we went virtual, and you were in New Jersey.
Yeah.
That was 3 years ago this week, and
Yeah.
you spoke. And tell us about that, because I had no idea what to expect at that event, and we had a full house. In fact, they were out into the halls trying to get into that room.
Yeah, it was amazing. I didn't know what to expect, and we signed up. And I think that's when I talked to Alyson, because she made the banner for Our Path and Blue Oceans, because
We
you had
did,
sent
yes.
me to her and she made the banner. And I was thinking, man, I know her from somewhere. Now I know where.
Definitely. Thanks for letting us make it for you. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, it was a great meeting. I mean, the people that were there and the conversations that were going on, especially the conversations that happened sort of after each presentation, were really, really good. And so, yeah, I was at that one, and then we jumped to the Vegas.
Oh, you were in
one.
Vegas too. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the Vegas one, and then we went COVID on everybody, and now you've turned it into something truly spectacular. It's but I do like the varying perspectives. It's makes it so much more interesting when you're talking to people that are coming at the same subject from a very different point of view. It makes the conversation very interesting.
I learned something at that event we did 3 years ago in New Jersey, Steve. I learned a lot of mistakes, okay, and not how not to repeat them. And one of them was we had a great leadoff speaker who I would bring back again and again over the next 2 years. And you'll know it's Brian Benstock at Paragon.
Right.
And he talked about this thing called service pickup and delivery, which we didn't quite know yet how important that was about to become. But Brian, had the stage for quite a long time. And he went over his time, like maybe double his time, right? And that threw our timing for the whole day off. And Kara, back then, we didn't have any panels. There was no talk of a panel. It was like one speaker after another speaker. We never did a panel. And that changed by the time we went to Las Vegas, Steve, and you were out there. Now we had panels, and we realized that if one speaker on a live event in person throws you off, it could have a domino effect on the whole day, right? And affect a lot of people. I remember people had to catch their flights in the afternoon. We got to get people to speak, but how do you not have Brian Benstock, do his whole presentation, right? So we learned a lot at both of those events. And Alyson, I remember you using this, the steamer on the step and repeat board with a red carpet, and how you and Mike were up there getting that whole thing going.
We're perfectionists, maybe to a fault, even if it comes to that. But I remember there was one little, and we both just kept going at it. We needed to. We love it all nice and smooth. It needs to look really good, especially for you. My goodness. That event was awesome in Vegas.
Yeah,
and you're right. We got in right before the shutdown. I mean, my goodness, we were lucky. So fingers crossed all the way around.
We sat at the table with Holman. He was there, and the whole team that he brought with him. And yeah, I remember Brian's deal going really long, and everybody's freaking out because they're waiting for their speaking turn. But it's kind of prophetic when you think about it. He went extra long. I thought it was a really good presentation.
Oh, it was the best ever.
And it really kept your attention. But to have the topic that he was on turn out to be what it's turned out to be is amazing. Just amazing. I mean, it's so much bigger than when he first brought it up. Because when he first brought it up, it was sort of, some people might do that. Some people might want that. But at the time, you're thinking, well, why? Why would somebody want you to go here or go there? And all of a sudden, COVID comes along, and everybody wants you to come, and they don't want to go anywhere. So it was cool.
So, Kara, we did that event in Las Vegas. You were in Vegas also for that NADA that week.
I remember, yeah.
And Alyson had the idea of printing this big circular cutout of a round table and putting it in the front of the room. And Alyson, that because we couldn't get together after that for a couple of years, right? And so that's in all the pictures, this round cutout of a round table. And I see that's on display now at Inkcentric in Los Angeles. So it's going to be like a museum piece someday, right?
It is. It truly is. We have our own collection going in the warehouse out there. It's in the back. Everybody loves it. And the funnier thing was Mike and I were so concerned that it was going to fall on top of the panelist as the event was going on. We had to double make sure it was on. And the whole time it was like, uh-oh, don't fall. I could see it rolling away, but we have it. It's safe. It will go, and we'll keep it and treasure it forever. Absolutely.
And that was our first event that we had a stage. I hired a company to come in and do staging in that ballroom right at the Embassy Suites, and we built a stage with the backdrop, and then you hung the round table, and then I had a professional sound company come in, Steve, because the sound was so bad in New Jersey. I said, we're not going to do this again. All right. So I hired a company to come in, with a guy with the headphones and the mixers and all these microphones and, the whole thing. So the big concern in Vegas was, Brian Benstock, how are we going to keep him from going over 20 minutes? And then, Alyson, who could follow Brian Benstock? Who could follow that person? Because he's so good. And then we found that Katie Mayers, Steve, would follow Brian, and that worked out really well. And then when the whole thing was on time, we knew that we had a really good event, only to get shut down like a few weeks later with what happened. So
it was wild, the timing on that. I remember going to the NADA meeting, and then just after that, they shut everything down. Now, I think that was in February or something, and then in March they shut everything down, and it was so strange. And if you'd have asked somebody, would there ever be an occurrence that would literally empty every dealership, every brand, all at the same time, you'd have had people betting the farm against that happening. That would never have happened. And to see it happen the way it did is just astounding. I would never have thought that. And I was working for Ford for almost 35 years. And trust me, we would never have let the dealers get empty if we didn't have to.
No, and let me tell you, we were not going to go virtual with a roundtable because I was convinced, Alyson, that we could wait this out, right? Maybe what were they saying at the time? Like a few weeks, a month, right? And this thing would be over. So I'm like, okay, we're going to wait it out. And then I remember Fred Beans called me. Fred, of course, Steve, who's at the New Jersey event. He called me up and he said, I want to go see Brian's operation because I want to get involved with service pickup and delivery. Would you call Brian and set up a meeting? I'll drive to New Jersey with my managers. I said, sure. So I called Brian and I couldn't reach him for a couple of days, right? And he finally called me back. I said, listen, I want to come with Fred and we want to see how you're doing the service pickup and delivery. This is like the end of March, 2020. And he says, Ted, we're shut down. I go, what? He goes, yeah, we're closed. I go, no, we don't want to see the sales department. We want to come see service and parts. He says, Ted, we are closed. Everything is closed. We're at ground zero in New York. Everything is shut down. We have employees who got sick. We had to shut the whole thing down, and we're going to be shut down for like 2 weeks. And I remember having to call Fred Beans and say, Brian's closed. You can't go. And I remember Fred like silent on the phone, like he couldn't believe it. What? And I said, Fred, can you believe this? He goes, I do not need this happening right now. Okay. This is like, and that was like a decision maker for me, Steve, that, we better go virtual with this thing. And, because maybe we could reach a lot of people right now. And so we opened the whole thing up and made it complimentary and that's what happened.
A lot of these virtual things have really, really been good for getting access because everybody can go. You don't have to travel. And I've been on some where you've got international participants as well. And it's just, for me, I just find it very cool when there are so many different perspectives and so many different people, and you can get access to them because they don't have to travel. It's easy to fit it into their schedule and do it. And I think there's a cool part to it. I like the in-person stuff. I always have, but there's an access part of this that's very cool, Ted. And you've done a good job building this up. You really have.
Well, gosh, I want to piggyback on that, Ted. Your events are amazing. This isn't a Zoom call. This is fabulous. The graphics, the video, the everything. I mean, you've really taken this and just run with it. So I hope you realize we all appreciate and just are in awe of all of this. It's amazing.
Yep.
So the one ingredient.
Going to dedicate an entire wing of her museum to you, Ted.
Right, exactly.
It's going to be the Ted Ings wing.
Exactly. Perfect.
But the one thing we didn't have back then, we didn't have anybody to call out the event and tell people to come to the event. And that's when I called Kara and I said, would you do a video for the event in September 2020? You remember that phone call? And
I do. Well, you were asking me before that, and I had the same issue that Steven's talking about because I said, "Man, I have a job, Ted. I won't be able to fly around every time you have a roundtable for a week at a time because I'll let the dealerships down, and it just wasn't feasible for me at the time." And yeah, Ted ended up calling me back when the pandemic happened, and he said, "I think I'm going to try this virtual," and asked me to do one video, I think, and just see kind of how it went. And he was like, "You can't tell me no now because you don't have to go anywhere." And I was like, I guess he's right. And yeah, man, it's been an amazing over 2 years now that I worked with Ted. And I will never forget you inviting me to the one in Las Vegas when I was there at my first ever NADA. And I was like, who is this guy? Like, what does he want with me? I don't know anything about fixed ops. Like, what is this? And he was like, I want you to come. And he had been talking to me a little bit. And I ended up not making it over there. But man, I wish I would have. I regret that to this day.
And I think one of the good things about the roundtable, Alyson, is that we've had people who are not in fixed ops that we wanted the fixed ops audience to hear, like Joe St. John, not a fixed ops person, but I thought he had a great story that we would share. Kerry Wise, I thought would be, these were people, fixed ops people had never heard about before, but I thought would be great speakers, and they are. And so I thought that resonated. So the fact that Kara was working in a dealership at that time for a year, now it's been 3 years, and I thought that you actually worked in retail, which I think is important for women in automotive, that we have women who actually work in a dealership. I thought that outweighed the fact that she was not in fixed ops. And I said, well, we can teach her that, but she has all the other, ingredients, the media, the video, and the elements of bringing people in and knowing what to say. So there we go, Kara.
And now you're stuck with me, Ted.
More like the other way around.
So
they are both rock stars, superstars. Absolutely.
They are.
It's been a wonderful ride, and just the amount of connections I made through the roundtable and the people that I met and the difference that I've seen made because of the roundtable every single time we have an event, and watching it grow and new people getting involved, and especially these donations and stuff like that. It's irreplaceable.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun and a lot of good stuff. And Alyson, these themes, right? Each one now has a theme, and this one is Dare to Dream. We're supporting that Dare to Dream project. The last one, what was the last one, Kara, that we did in September?
Oh, September, the Roaring 20s. And then before that, I was Princess Leia. Who can forget that? I'll be taking that one to the grave for sure.
Yeah, I remember that. That was good.
We still have people making requests for Princess Leia to come back, so maybe she will at one time.
The most beautiful Princess Leia. Absolutely, you'll have to do it again.
Yeah.
So many people thought that was my real hair, and I was wearing a wig, but it matched my hair color. And so many people were like, how'd you get your hair to look like that every day? I don't know. It's the fixed ops magic. Who knows?
Right.
But anyway, I thought that's part of the magic of the roundtable, Steve, that we'd have these, non-traditional themes, and it's worked, because there's been other conferences out there that have not been as successful. And I remember that Roaring 20s one. We had an event in September, but we started in July, and Kara ordered some dresses, and she said, let me order a wig or two. And I remember early July, right after the 4th of July, I was concerned that we're not starting early enough, and she sends me these pictures that she took. And, she's got the wig on and she's got the outfit, and you could tell that she was like excited, like, I'm going to do this. We're going to try this thing with this new look. And that ended up being probably the biggest, or one of the biggest events we've ever done.
Yeah.
Well, you gain some insight from every one of these because of the diversity of the people that you have on. And, like I said, I've learned something from every one of these. And I was in the car business for almost 35 years with Ford Motor Company. So it's been amazing, Ted. So keep it up, buddy. Keep it up.
All right. Well, tomorrow we're going to keep it up. It's day 3 of this big event. We're going to raise some more money for leukemia and lymphoma. By the way, let me put that QR code up on the screen. And the website is fixedopscares.org. fixedopscares.org, and you can go in there. When you leave a donation, everybody, it takes about 20 minutes for that to show up. All right, so it may not show up instantly, but you do get the receipt from the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in your email right away, and you get the acknowledgement for that. So, and a lot of folks have sent me those receipts. So I know there's more donations that are not yet on the website. But that QR code, if you open up your camera, that'll take you right to the website, or go to fixedopscares.org. More to come on that tomorrow. We'll call out some more donations at lunchtime. We got a great lineup tomorrow. Glenn Lundy is going to lead us off as a keynote speaker tomorrow. So we're looking forward to that. The mobile service panel with My Karma is going to be on tomorrow. That's a really big panel now. That's really grown. And My Karma's been a fantastic. And by the way, My Karma donated today too, if I didn't give them a shout out. So thanks to them. And Alyson, you're talking tomorrow afternoon. What are we talking about tomorrow?
Gosh, year-end marketing, different tips, different ideas, things to get us through and to start the new year off with a bang. Absolutely.
And a lot of companies, a lot of people, not just dealers, are looking for a resource like you, Alyson. So a lot of people look forward to seeing you on that. So I'm excited what you're going to share with us. And I think we're going to have some apparel tomorrow, I think, right?
Yes, apparel as well. Absolutely. Just like the one behind me. Yes, absolutely.
Well,
Yeah,
as a former customer, I highly recommend you.
Thank you so much.
It really was. It was good.
Thank you. Which again is the power of your groups, Ted. I mean, this is amazing. Without you, this wouldn't be happening. So again, thank you over and over again.
Oh my, it's going to go to my head, Alyson. Watch out.
That is fine. It needs to. It is fine too. Yes.
And Sean Kingery, you're on a panel tomorrow you're on a number of panels, but there's one tomorrow afternoon that you're on with Brook.ai, you and Tully, and you're welcoming Techion tomorrow to the family. So we're excited tomorrow afternoon. I think that's right before Alyson speaks. Techion is going to be on there. Their first time. A lot of people reaching out today from Techion who are signing up. So we're excited to have them. We know there's a lot of buzz around that new DMS as well. And there's several DMS companies on there. Cox Automotive was on today with the panel. It was a lot of fun. And so good stuff to come. And then Steve, your panel tomorrow with Ed Roberts, who was one of your dealers that you called on at Beaux-Arts for many years. And then Brian.
Actually, I called on Fred Beaux-Arts, the father, at a really small place off the highway. And then when I went to visit Ed to go see what they've created, is just amazing, just gorgeous.
Yeah, he was telling Doug Hero on Tuesday that they had 41 employees, I think 8 years ago, and now it's over 300. Wow. And growing. And so that mobile service panel is a big part of what Ed's going to talk about tomorrow. Ed's got a lot of stuff going on this roundtable. And Steve, I'm excited about your panel. So looking forward to that.
I think when you take a look at the car is becoming more of a technology platform, and you're going to see more and more technology companies actually interested in your roundtable, because a lot of that tech is going to come through fixed ops, and because it's going to be connected to the car, and the car is essentially going to be a platform like any other that can do everything. It's going to be amazing, and you'll see a lot more tech companies coming. I have no doubt about it.
I think you're right. So, all right, Kara, so we started. What's that?
I said it's going to be fun, buddy.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good ride. So, look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. What time do we start, Kara Delane?
9 a.m. Eastern, 8 for me in Central Time.
Wow. And you're there at the opening. I've seen you in the chat and leading the chat. That's great.
Yep, I can't miss the chat. That's half the fun of the roundtable. I feel like is seeing everybody's comments come in. So I want to witness all of it.
Yeah. All right, so looking forward to it tomorrow. Steve and Alyson, thank you so much for all you do for our industry and for being here tonight. Steve Woessner is a great resource, everybody. Blue Oceans Global Consulting. He's in Atlanta. Reach out to him. Got a lot of relationships, a lot of folks he knows, and he's on the cutting edge with a lot of this technology and this transformation that's coming to our industry. And Alyson, Landis, of course, at Inkcentric, both great friends of the Fixed Ops Roundtable. So looking forward to day 3.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. It's great, Ted.
Absolutely. Can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah. And if you missed this tonight, everybody, if you didn't see the whole thing, it'll be on YouTube as soon as we get done. So you can catch it right away, right on the Fixed Ops Roundtable YouTube channel. And I think if you Google it like 15 minutes later, it'll show up in Google. So pretty good.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for being on tonight. And I love hearing everyone's stories every time that I'm on the After Dark show, but I'm looking forward to tomorrow, Ted, at 9 a.m. at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Dare to Dream. We hope to see you all there.